So just bringing you a quick update on the BORUTO anime. So we've gotten confirmation that it returns on the 5th of July 2020, with Black Clover coming on the 7th and One Piece coming on the 28th of June. So quite big news, and you can see the poster up in front of you here is the Kara versus the Konoha storyline arc, whatever you want to call it. Obviously, we're starting with some anime original stuff that will, I guess, be a prelude, an interlude, whatever lude they want to call it, but it's probably going to be related to it in some ways. And I know people are, concerned, rightly so, rightly so, they should be concerned, but they're concerned about why it's called the activation arc, and it may not be directly correlated to the our arc. But no, if you look back on Naruto, and now, Naruto Shippuden specifically, the Tsukiyomi arc was called the Tsukiyomi activation arc, and if you use another interpretation, it was also called the Tsukiyomi invocation arc. So if you say, oh, it's Tsukiyomi invocation arc or the activation arc, you may also come to the conclusion that, oh, maybe it's going to be anime original. But from what you remember from the Tsukiyomi arc, though, the activation arc, the invocation arc, what do you want to call it, it was essentially the same arc with some interludes, preludes. They just added some stuff, essentially keeping it the same. So no real issues there. Another piece of news is that there's a new inner member that has been announced called Depa, which you can see at the top of your screen. And if you just look to the right, it says Depa, and V could be V. It's probably V or U, because when I see it's like the character for you. So I was going to say it's Urashiki, but there's the dashes at the end. So it leads me to whose name starts with a V? Maybe a Victor. Could be what they're linking it to. So probably a Victor is probably whose name is next to Depa's name. So I feel like these two are probably linked together. And if you actually go to the anime, anime opening, you see that everybody's in groups of 3s and 2s. So you see on the bottom staircase, you see Delta, Boro, and Jigen. On the top, you see Amada, Code, and KK, Kashin Koji. And in the middle, you see Victor, and I guess this new guy, Depa. Actually, now that I think about it, the people on the top, because you see Kashin Koji, and Code. Now, this is a bit of spoilers for the manga. Are those all 3 of them traitors? Because why they group them together is, I'm just trying to read, is that symbolic that Code is actually a traitor? Because they are grouping him with the people who are traitors, with Code, with Kashin Koji and Amado, whereas you see the people who are really pro Kara, Jigen, or hashtag Ishiki, as is known, as is known on his OnlyFans account, and the girl Delta and the boy Boro. So if you look at it, is that a symbolic thing, or I'm just reading too much into it? I don't know. But like they said, Depa is going to be voiced by Natsu Drag New, the voice of Natsu Drag New, Tetsuya Kakihara, who is so I'm curious to see what's gonna happen. They haven't actually done the voice actor for Victor, who I'm thinking is going to be announced next, because I can see the little V next to Depa's name at the top of the screen. And finally, with that, I think the number for Depa's face, or his every car member has a number on their face, a Roman numeral, and it seems like Depa's one is either 7 or 8. I can't really tell how many Roman figuros are on the right side of his cheeks, but at least we can see 2 1s, and on the left we can see the 5. So that's at least he's number 7. And then person before him, Code, is number 6. And that's, when you think about, that's all 9 members, from Jigen to Kashin Koji to Amado to Victor to Delta to Boro to Code to Kawaki and to this guy Depa. I'm not sure what Kashin Koji is. I would assume Amado is number 2, because I would find it weird that Amado comes in after Kashin Koji, when we know the origins of Kashin Koji. It would be weird, especially when Delta is number 1, and it seems like there's some history with Delta and Amado. So it feels like they came together as a pair. That's just me, but we'll see what happens with that. The numbers don't really mean anything. All that we know now is that there's 9. But because of what happens with Urashiki, I'm kind of skeptical of what's going to happen with this Depa guy. But granted that they've planned this since the beginning, because if you think about it, since chapter 15 or 16, they've had the Roman numerals on their face. So I'm assuming they had planned for this guy since jump, to be honest with you. And if you remember, if you look back a couple of months ago, when the writer Kodachi was saying he's really pressured because he has to think of writing for the manga series, he was basically complaining that he was not getting enough help because he was doing So I'm writing for the manga series and writing for the. I'm pretty sure you're aware that Kodashi doesn't actually write for the anime. He supervises it. Obviously, he writes for like the Mujina Bandit stuff. He wrote most of it, or he gave them the most of the like the ideas of the steps to take. So for things like that, he writes. But for most of the other stuff, he just supervises. So like the first arc, which was the Nue arc, he writes. The Mujina Bandit arc, he writes. So if he was complaining that he was writing too much, so he has to be talking about things specifically relating to the manga, so which makes me assume it was either due to writing this for the Daper thing or the Hozuki prison castle. So I think we'll see what happens anyway when the thing comes out and can judge the quality on its merit. But either way, that's the end of the news essentially. And I would like to say, don't be one of those gullible people thinking we're not getting Kawaki in the next 25 episodes, because Kawaki obviously has to be here after the hour arc. So the hour arc is coming in the next 25 episodes. Stop panicking. Because I've seen a lot of people say, no, it's not coming soon. There's this. No. I mean, if you watch the opening, Kawaki is in the opening. There's literally the chapter panel for panel thing in the opening where you see Kawaki inside that body bag nonsense thing. So I don't know if they're going to show it before it actually shows up in the scene, you know, before like we actually get to that chapter that they're adapting. But for me, what I can see and from what I've seen throughout Naruto, whatever they put in the opening directly relates to what they're going to show in the next 25 episodes. So except opening like 10 of Naruto Shippuden, where it was like a filler arc. I know they were showing where the people running around and you see Gaara dancing. That's it. So for me, I've already made up my mind. Alright, I'm already assuming that, you know, we're getting Kawaki and our arc in the next 25 episodes. So that's me. If I'm wrong, I take my tea and I drink it with pleasure. And finally, I think the boy catching Koji is actually number 2, because if you think about it, he has 2 marks on the side of his faces, which are it's kind of like paintings, just like paintings. And obviously it could just be like a design thing, but I'm just going to take that as his number 2, which is not really important for this video. But I just wanted to speculate, not speculate, I just wanted to put it out there and say my piece and just put everything down the table. So anyway, that's it from me, Yenzo. Catch you on the next reactions, talks, Sunday ramblings, whatever it is. I'll see you guys. Peace.